Fearzly just joined up. And like you said, Jacob, Harbor, that's going to be the big deciding factor here in the series.
It definitely is. This is a map that, admittedly so, I haven't seen enough on to really draw it down the line. I think both of these teams have very, very similar play styles. They like to get aggressive. They like to Wolfpack, but I think the Wolfpack is there for the Pittsburgh Knights. But like I said, it's too close to call in my book. And there goes the first down coming out from Xploidz, and first blood going over to F&I.
He's just casually walking, spots another player, gets the finish. No worries at all. Actually, Dezo finished himself off. Good start for the boys of F&I. Already gone for the overextension. A matter of fact, the cherry on top, SuMuNs will fall, and now they're going in for the domination. Of course, PK is going to be off that respawn, and Raver's going to be the first one to get the touch on the home hill. And F&I has a decision to make. Do they want to stand and fight this or back off? Honestly, backing off wouldn't be bad here, but as Dezo falls, Jacob, I think they're going to commit.
The perfect moment. Oh no, Raver's getting some big kills, some big eliminations. He gets taken out. Dyslexic returning the favor. Toti does what he can, but the numbers from F&I get dwindled down. He's gonna backtrack all the way, trying to put that Lancer fire down. Even if they get in and get the break, he's just trying to buy some time until the reinforcements come through. He can't catch himself out of position, and that's exactly what he did. Monkyz finds himself a quick elimination on Xploidz as well. So the door has swung wide open for PK to really funnel these members out, catch them off guard, and eliminate them time and time again. Making sure to stagger their deaths is going to be so important here in this situation, as you see two members coming off of respawn, the hill being decapped. The meat show is going to provide a lot of protection here. It gets dwindled down though. Xploidz takes advantage. Big kills coming through. Dezonide putting that final blow there. I don't think anybody's going to be able to get the touch this time around, as Knights start off strong and go up 1-0 in map number 1. And you got to be careful if you're F&I, because remember, I said it, I predicted it. Whoever wins map number 1 should win the series.
And who was that? It was Raver, right, on the home hill PK, who ended up getting the final kill. He doesn't get that final kill. Dyslexic was also popping off too, which is funny. We were just talking about Dyslexic and Raver, who pops off more, he gets the most kills. But if Dyslexic picks off Raver there, the domination probably comes through. But at the end of the day, Raver sets PK up well. But because so much was committed from F&I there, PK was easily able to traverse the map, get over, and get the domination. And that's the risk you run, Jacob, whenever you try to commit everything.
Got like flashbacks of Gears 4 with those Boltok pistols getting placed down on that side of the map. It usually always has. It's going to be SuMuNs versus Toti in that battle. So we got a 3v3 going down towards the top side. They're releasing a 3v3 towards the top side of the life cycle of Harbor, but quick eliminations going over towards F&I. Fearzly, talk about him not being the big slayer, but I said he had the potential to pop off, and pop off he will, as Dyslexic gets that third kill. Toti getting that one towards the bottom, so 4 players dead right off the initial for the Pittsburgh Knights. And I love the decap situation. Back off. You're going to go for another round of slaying, but actually, no, they're going to retreat all the way back to the neutral ground. Even though Dyslexic went down, they're going to get the revive, and they're going to position themselves, because now it's up to the Knights here to make a push. And I think they got to go for a little bit of a split push. Try to attack the top and the bottom at the same time, but someone has to be careful not to go too early, because then he will get lancered out.
One of the things I was really harping on, or at least Colin and myself were talking about during the Pro League qualifiers on Monday when watching Fire and Ice versus Hive, was Fire and Ice's ability to be able to adapt and overcome. And from round 1, where they committed everything to go for the overextension, try to get that domination, it doesn't work out. So what do? They have the same great initial like they did in round 1, but instead of fully committing 2v4, which is eventually what was going to happen on Charlie, PK's home hill, they ended up backing off. They played defense, and now look at them. Now they can carefully and successfully push in. And honestly, at this point in time, Xploidz and Fearzly, I'm not going to be mad if they back off once again and they allow Raver and Monkyz to come up. But at this point in time, if they win, oh no, Fearzly going to hit those. That's one. Xploidz needs to win this fight, and he will manage to take down Monkyz. But even so, PK should be able to come off the respawn, and they do, and Dezo will keep them alive. But look at the point disparity between the two. Fire and Ice is doing such a good job at reacting.
As soon as they capture this home hill and they start pressing forward, you need to be very wary of the situation, especially surrounding that neutral hill towards the bottom side, whether you cap it or have to press forward. 30 seconds left. You see the win condition towards the top half of the map in favor of F&I, trying to tie this one up. So it's going to be up to PK and a last-second push. But I do like their chances. They have a very high success rate when it comes to last-second pushes. But with Harbor being a new map, 4v4 being the new game mode, only time will tell if they can continue that success rate.
Let's find out. PK, once again, trying to sneak another round in their favor. For Fearzly, though, he has an opportunity to get on the flank, and he's going to take that moment and use it to his best of his abilities. He needs to take down SuMuNs. It's going to be a big elimination for him. Meanwhile, though, Hill is being broken, but Fire and Ice successfully retake B. That was a big win over Monkyz, and I believe that was player number 2 who was able to take him down. So FNI hold on, and that's based off of a great initial and them backing off and allowing PK to then push forward. And I got to say, FNI played that very, very well. Good on them.
I love when a team just knows their win conditions and doesn't bite off more than they can chew. They don't get antsy. They don't get over aggressive in these situations. That's exactly what FNI did, knew exactly what they had to achieve. And you even saw it there with Fearzly versus SuMuNs towards the back end. He didn't get over aggressive. He didn't force the fight, especially knowing that they had that neutral hill in the bag. And towards the top side, we're going to see Talons placed down. Well, that's only a momentary thing. I expect that to get upgraded, possibly all the way to Shocks as time progresses.
All right, well, let's see. Shocks, maybe retros a little bit. Xploidz, though, are going to make good on this fight once again. He's been doing such a good job. And Dez is going to be on the opposite corner. Of course, though, now he's going to have to deal with Raver. This isn't going to be an easy 1v2, and in fact made it even harder as Dezo gets the chunk. Now, PK has a massive advantage here as Toti and Fearzly are left on the map to try and fend off against each other. There's a beautiful spread onto the player just up ahead, but Toti is forced to back off. And PK will not be able to get that OE in, but at least they get the objective in their favor. They'll start gaining points.
Oh, that was a big shot on SuMuNs there, especially since they have the reinforcements coming through. Doesn't really matter how much Lancer damage is being put out right now because the revives are going to be instantaneous. So Toti going for that decap. He's soon going to go for the capture as well. You have another player in Dyslexic rotating over, making sure that nobody is freely running through the middle of the map, trying to pick up these eliminations, and that's where you see him get right back into position to try to block an overextension. Because now that they have 2 hills in their hand, it's going to be up to the Knights to try and overextend. And you can already see them pushing their numbers down towards the low side, similar to what we just seen through Fire and Ice. So we got a little bit of a 2v2 going down, but it's going to be up to Dyslexic. Is he going to try and maneuver up top? Is he going to play towards the middle? It's actually going to be towards the middle. He's actually flanking.
That flank could be beneficial. No, he gets taken down. So that flank now out of the way, and that's going to allow players 9 and 8 to come in and slowly pincer these players on FNI. But hey, still, FNI wins those critical fights. And PK, it's going to be a much more even fight of a 2v2. Trades are down. It is literally neck and neck in these battles, but will clutch up, end up ahead, and get that break on B to continue for PK to close out that deficit, which, mind you, PK had the lead early on, but Fire and Ice was able to successfully retake, and they're already there. They're already challenging B, Jacob.
Dyslexic needs to be careful, though, because the massive advantage towards the top side of the map. They can easily get this cross. Monkyz just needs to hold the line and be the anchor that the team needs. He has reinforcements in Raver. You got a 40-point lead for Fire and Ice, though. That is going to be the key. So it's all about the moves that PK is forced to make here. They're holding it towards up top. They're trying to Lancer down. They're trying to put as much damage out as possible. Big down on Dyslexic, and an opportunity at that second hill, which they so desperately need. Fire and Ice here have to start thinking. They're letting this all go for free. No moves being made up top. They banked all their eggs in the basket of holding the low side, and now it's gone. Win condition switching over to the Knights, and now it's going to be up to Fire and Ice to make one final move here.
At this point in time, Fearzly is going to go in for the 1v1 against Monkyz, but really he can't go anywhere because he also has Raver just on the opposite side. So it's going to be basically a losing situation. Luckily, his teammates are behind him, but then again, look at SuMuNs on that map. He's going to try and rotate over towards Charlie, as right now, PK knows that Fire and Ice is going to lose B. Now you have Dyslexic who's going to be isolated. Xploidz needs to clutch up. He can't do so, even though he gets the drop on SuMuNs. It's simply not enough. But you do have player 4. He's going to get the break on A. This is still a close round.
Hey, Toti. Honestly, he doesn't have to do anything. He just needs to make sure they don't cap. You can die. That's okay. No one's asking you to stay alive. No one's asking you to go clutch. He actually does need the decap coming through. It comes through on the other side. They win C-Hill, though. Opportunity to get it back. Score. And what is going to happen?
They got it. Fire and Ice gets it in the last seconds. So many moving pieces there, Jacob. But break it down for the viewers at home. There were so many flanks taking place, and if you blinked, you would have missed it.
I said on the other side of the map, Toti did not need to win that fight. Not letting them cap was huge. He bought just enough time, literally a fraction of a second difference. Toti does anything different there. F&I loses the round, and it's 2-1 in favor of the Knights. So if this is somehow a one-round victory for F&I, and we start thinking all the different mistakes, that is a massive mistake because it's literally a fraction of a second they needed to hold them off.
And Fire and Ice playing so smart, reacting so very well. Those mid-round adjustments, as you said, Toti, he doesn't play that perfectly. They don't win that. But let's not forget, he also had Fearzly with them too, which made the difference. Overall, at the end of the day, Fire and Ice are playing very, very well as a team. And they're playing very, very smart. Either way, another initial underway. Fire and Ice looking to better their advancement to 3-1 in the overall round count. But around the corner, Raver comes through, tries to pick up a kill, but it doesn't matter. That's 3 down. SuMuNs is down to 19%. Fire's dominating these initials.
You already see the swarm of players already pressing forward. The decap's going to come through. They have the numbers there. If they just land the perfect shots, great flashes coming out. They're able to stop the decap, but no real damage being put on the members of F&I just yet. Fearzly's able to get one. Finally, the damage is adding up. He does go down. Dezo doing all he can, but that retro from Dyslexic is just mowing these players down one after the next. Last player alive is going to be SuMuNs. He meets that same demise. Triple cap domination sounding off for Fire and Ice, and they move one step closer to taking out the Knights in map number 1. And I said map number 1 Harbor is a huge map in winning this cycle.
Man, you know, it's funny. I'm getting, and I don't know if it's too early to say this, but in a way, I'm kind of getting VQ vibes here. You know, as they were coming out of the Pro League qualifiers, now coming into E-Days. Remember their first week, how successful they were, and they really took everybody by storm. And if Fire and Ice can come through after winning week number 1 of the Pro League qualifiers undefeated, and then come in here. Now, granted, they did lose a map to Hive, so they're not going to beat the record of VQ, who went undefeated, you know, basically all the weeks of Pro League qualifiers, but also in E-Days week number 1. But if F&I could beat Knights here after also beating VQ, the previous champs, and beating Hive, they could be looking like VQ was in the early days of Split 1. So they are playing out of their mind and playing so very well.
Okay, going directly up top, giving it up to F&I. That's going to be big here. F&I, I do believe, have that shock grenade in their hand, so they're making sure that no quick grabs coming through for PK, but shock is going to dissipate. Opportunity to grab it and get the quick revive is coming through. It doesn't matter if Raver goes down or not. That is going to be a big win on the side of the Knights. Now he has to be very, very selective. Just like you mentioned very, very early on in round number 1 of the tournament. You only get one this time around. I said you had to be selective, and you are not picky, my friend. You shot that one out, gave it out like candy. Luckily for you, your teammate has your back. 2 members of F&I getting taken out. And now Raver ends up in a 1v1 against Fearzly, making it a 2v1 as he does get some reinforcements. Quick shots then landed on SuMuNs. Great down coming through, and honestly, that is great plays by Fearzly to at least get the trade come through.
PK is not going to be able to win the round just yet. Fire and Ice will be able to fight back, but they put themselves in a winning position and a great position in general. So it's all now up to Fire and Ice, how they want to break the defensive setup and, more importantly, retake control of the point lead and the objective. It's not going to be easy by any means, and it's going to start by getting some good kills on Raver and Dezo just up ahead. Ult talk onto SuMuNs, good shot onto one. That's going to be Raver just up ahead, but still, they can't push that. The Lancer Fire is going to chip away at them and put them within chunk range as they get up close. But there's the frag. It's going to be out. They're not pushing just yet. They're taking their time. There's Dyslexic. He's leading the charge.
Oh, those are big shots on SuMuNs. Not sure who's there to put those final blows to try to take him out. Dyslexic taking a ton of damage as well. Revives coming through. Nobody able to capitalize on the side of F9. On the other hand, you're just getting eaten up by PK, but finally a trade. And there it goes. 2v2 going down, and it does look like the positioning is going to go over to F9, but the score is going to be in favor of Knights. The only thing that's helping F9 right now is that win condition. It changed, but it has to be uncontested if they're looking to hold on, and it does look like PK is not going to give this one up easy. Trading back and forth the damage with the numbers. Xploidz right place at the right time with his Lancer to completely decimate the opposition of the Knights, but 2 players remain hopeful to try to make this last-ditch effort. Triple cap domination sounding off. Raver now, the last Jedi. He gets taken out, and one step closer to map 1 domination, and a 4-1 scoreline goes over to F&I.
You know, for the rounds that F&I were able to win. There was a couple that, you know, off of mid game and late game, but more importantly, it came off the back of a great initial. Now, Fire and Ice loses the initial. PK has the objective. They've got the point lead. And for F&I to come through, retake that positioning, and more importantly, get the domination to lead 4-1, it speaks volumes about them. Again, I keep talking about their adjustments, but it really is setting them apart from any of the teams that they're playing against. They lose the initial, they're losing the round, and they still manage to end it in a domination, and not too long after they started pushing. Good on them. Drop shots down in Stern. This is the same situation PK and AMC were in just earlier, except the fact that I believe PK was leading the charge. Let's see if this drop shot changes anything.
I hope it does here. 4th of July going over on Stern. It's going to look like PK is going to win that battle. 2 players getting eliminated as Xploidz finally finds himself. Toti's going to get crossed out here. I don't see him surviving. He does get taken out. Drop shot going to be in the hands of PK, SuMuNs specifically. This is an opportunity here. The only thing is these are semi-short respawns, so I don't think anybody from F&I is going to press forward just yet to kind of help Fearzly. You want to go ahead and position yourself as if anybody else is going to push forward, because you know they're going to try to get their home hill back. Fearzly does get taken out, and then you set up around it. They actually got 2 hills for the price of 1, as SuMuNs going ahead and holding on to that big threat of the drop shot.
Yeah, drop shot's going to be hugely pivotal as players are going to try and maybe push up on them, but in the meantime, Fire and Ice has to make a decision. Do we want to commit here and potentially put ourselves in a maybe drop shot situation where we take down 2 or get 2 of our members taken down, or do we want to bait it out, sacrifice 1 so we can push up? Something they're going to have to think about soon. You also have the Xploidz on the opposite end who might push in onto Raver, but in the meantime, F&I is taking their time, and rightly so. They do have time, right? I mean, look at the score. It's really not that crazy as of yet, so they can at least waste a little bit, think it through.
Yeah, but more time they're wasting here is more time that possibility of another drop shot in the hands of PK happens. And you put 2 drop shots in the hand of SuMuNs on a map like Harbor where it's narrow passageways to push through, you're certainly asking to give up a loss here. Nice smoke to try and cloud as much of the Lancer Fire as possible. A couple players making through. Dyslexic does get taken out. Fearzly, though, he gets a nice back A to take out Monkyz. Drop shot is going to be wasted, but now he's in another 1v2 situation. Looking like he's getting sandwiched from both sides. He has to have a miracle happen, and he's not going to be granted that. So it's going to be all up to Raver on the other side of the map if Xploidz finds himself getting taken out here, but Dyslexic has an opportunity trying to get that home hill back. Raver doing what he can to keep the players from funneling over towards the top side of the map.
It's absolutely going to be a PK round, albeit a miracle from Fire and Ice. Player 2's really trying to get it going. Xploidz finally falls, and PK will bring it back and bring it 4-2. Still a long climb ahead of them if they want to come back, but at least it starts here and now. But that drop shot did make a difference.
This bleeding has been stopped. I wouldn't think momentum has shifted just yet. That's going to be this round, but Fearzly 17, 7, and 8. We were talking about who's going to get more kills, Dyslexic and Raver, but Fearzly said, hey, you should have put my name on the list. And I was about to say it too when we were watching it. That's PTSD putting us against the chat like that. I don't want to go against the chat ever again in predictions.
True. They are unstoppable, bro. Unstoppable. Maybe not the Blaze. Blaze is the one who beat. They call him beat him too.
This is
I know for sure.
Yeah, no, Blaze and Colin, then the chat, then us.
Hey, man. We'll get him next time, though. We're going to get him this. Split 2 is our season, man.
I don't know if Rise will
Speaking of drop shot, this might be Raver's drop shot for free. He's actually expecting more people to be there, and they're going to be just on the other side. He's put himself in a corner. This is going to be tough. Shocks out, though, and that stops Toti from pushing up and taking him down.
You gotta get the drop shot. Multiple players going down. Monkyz finally getting that drop shot. Players are still going down. Grice crossfire towards the back end. You can even save that drop shot for when the players get off of respawn. Such a magnificent round being played out by PK right before our very eyes. But a lot of time being bought right now by F&I, especially with that big elimination coming through from Fearzly. So no one on the side of the Pittsburgh Knights able to press forward or gain any positioning here. But Fire Knights have to be ready for this drop shot to fire out, possibly fake a push and get ready to even try to get somebody off respawn. Toti gets taken out. Lots of damage being fired on Dyslexic. Great target selection coming out from the Pittsburgh Knights, but somehow Dyslexic lives to fight another day.
All right, here we go. It's PK looking good, like you said. Fire and Ice fighting another day, but is it going to be their day? That's the question. I don't know if it will be. PK's looking really good at this point in time. And Fearzly also drops 2. So Toti's last up.
Dibs.
PK not in position to get over towards F, so they're just going to wait this out a little bit longer. And what they're going to probably do is just wait for F and I to make one more good push. Once they get numbers, then they'll push up for the domination. My question is, does Monkyz still have the drop shot? Because I don't know if it was used just yet. This is going to be a long-range Kobe.
I'm not sure if he has a new drop shot just yet, but I think he might be waiting for it. You see him over, but if he does have the drop shot, he's in the perfect position because anybody going across that bridge will certainly get taken out, leaving their only option to be that ramp. Nice flash grenade coming through, but the instant's going to do a lot of damage, taking players out. Big elimination coming through. SuMuNs gets taken out, though, so just a trade for now. And by no usage of that drop shot, you got to guess Monkyz doesn't have it in hand. So whoever wins this battle can put themselves in the driver's seat for the remainder of the round. And look at PK, what a massive lead. Can they hold on to this one? You got Dezonide, the captain, the IGL of this squad, with the retro and a dream to close this one out.
Oh, he falls down. That's huge. Now Fire and Ice just out. Oh, and he also gets the hit. And that should be SuMuNs dropping at this point in time. There's no way he makes it out of this, surely, and he doesn't. And the break is there. No way Fire and Ice take this round with PK being at 230 and counting. They're so close to victory, yet Fire and Ice has pushed them back to oblivion, and they've just done it. There's going to be now one player to push in and try to get the touch. It's going to be Dezo, but he's going to drop. But he gets the reset. But look at this. SuMuNs is up. He's not even going to try it. And Fire and Ice will flip the script with PK staying at 234, and they will take map number 1. PK's map pick, 5-2.
Normally I say that's how you take away momentum, but that's how you build on momentum if you're FNI. You bring this one into map number 2, Asylum. And I have even said it, map number 1 is really going to be a big test, and it's completely dominated by FNI on the back of Fearzly. And we both said it, Dyslexic, Raver, but Monkyz and Fearzly had all the potential in the world to go off. So even though the chat might have been right, I didn't really see out of those two, but you're wrong overall because Fearzly made us all look like fools.
21-8, man. 21-8 for Fearzly to finish it off. I don't know how many deaths he had, but it's honestly, it doesn't even matter. The scoreline being 5-2. When you're getting 21 kills in that time span of 7 rounds, that's impressive regardless. So good job on FNI to win that. And you know what? Again, there's 2 critical rounds that they won. There was that one round, I believe, right before the half where they lost the initial, but they were still able to win in the form of a domination. And that was because they were able to push through. I think that's when the scoreline eventually went up to 4-1. And then, of course, in that last round, with PK being at 234 points on the edge, on the cusp of taking over that victory, but challenging Dezo, taking him down despite his retro, raining down hell on the players from FNI pushing forward. To come together as a team like that, to take that round in the last seconds, this is actually the very moment where SuMuNs ended up falling, and this was just shortly before they shut down PK at 234. I mean, it's just huge, and it shows PK, again, is able to adapt and overcome, and that's what makes them so strong.
This one right here, gonna be a big test. Can FNI keep that momentum going? Can they push it into map number 2? 5 in this matchup, 2-0. I said whoever wins Harbor wins this matchup, and I think it's going to be a short-lived match as FNI takes it 2-0.
All right, short-lived match. I like that, brother. He's coming out the gate swinging. FNI's about to take this 5-0. Hey, it doesn't matter if it goes to round 9.
Whoa, I didn't say
5-4. Well, you said coming out the gate, so like, hey, we'll find out. Like I said, Trax fight is going to be fun. Dyslexic and Xploidz were sticking together on Monday, and it looks as if they're going to be right there once again. Now, for PK, though, on Trax, of course, it has to be Dezo, and then on the opposite end, across the tracks, going to be SuMuNs. So they're going to be going against each other constantly. Meanwhile, on Streets, though, you do have Player 5 and Player 0. That's going to be over there, and then a couple more. But the main battle is here on B, and both teams seem to respect each other quite a bit. No one wants to push in yet, Jacob.
Yep. And what's crazy is normally when we see this, it was the old settings where one team has a tick, one team has a second lead, but it's equally right down the center. Home hill capped right off with the initial. So it's up to these players really formulate a move, but Dezonide gets caught off guard. The cover being taken out, and the train claims the first kill of the match with the help of Xploidz, and SuMuNs now finds himself in a 1v2 situation. Not looking good. He gets taken out. These long respawn timers, 12 to be exact, is enough time for him to try to overextend and get this next elimination. No, I'm not saying get the next kill, not get the next hill, but get this next elimination. But unfortunately for Xploidz. He doesn't land enough damage, and he finds himself forced to retreat along with his teammates. Now it's going to open up for PK to get right back on the field, and nobody's anchoring the backside for F&I. So this allows PK to push up and do exactly what they're doing right now. And I like what Dezo's doing. Don't waste time, get that cap, get one, almost get two. I like how Dyslexic didn't pop up and take the damage. So this is going to be an opportunity here, especially with that train coming towards the backside, for him to continue dominating as he takes out SuMuNs and gets a hill on his control.
Great movement from Dyslexic there to pick up those kills. You can see him that little back step, that micro spacing, right? I mean, just it was beautiful. He was able to get that elimination and secure B once again single-handedly. He's just such a power player. For Raver, though, he picks up a great kill mid, but he just can't get it enough whenever it goes into C. FireNice holds on. They continue their lead. And PK, that was a really good attempt. That was a great effort. They put a lot in there in order to try and take over those hills, but now they're kind of back to the drawing board. Where do they go from here? And I like Dyslexic quickly taking over Pavilion to lance her out. That's going to make PK's job a lot harder to go into B.
Monkyz needs to be careful here. He's a huge target for where they're going to go. Dyslexic needed to be even more careful, though. You have the win conditions so heavily in your favor. Why do you risk that death? So now, obviously, the decap is going to come through, but as I say that, they're actually going for this elimination on Toti. I thought they were going to get that elimination a little bit later, but sooner is the better. Raver gets that down. Monkyz is going to clean up that kill on Toti that we spoke about earlier on. The last seconds of this match are right before our very eyes. The hills being decapped, fire and ice. Nobody able to get that touch as Dyslexic just dancing around, probably emoting on the other side of things. Fearzly getting the last kill of the round, and FireNice continuing that momentum, continuing that domination, and just completely controlling the entire first round.
And getting closer to your prediction of that 5-0 for F&I to take the victory. They're well on their way to doing so. And leading 1-0, man, that's got to make them feel good. There was a big standoff on tracks, but you know what? It finally ended up being F&I able to take it. You mentioned F&I was not watching their flank, therefore PK was going to be able to push back behind them, but they tried, and Dyslexic clutched up in a big, big way in that 1v2. Plays like that are important to make, and Dyslexic is a person you can count on. I'm telling you, he's been playing out of his mind. PK back to the drawing board. What do?
Possibly, I want to see them take control of middle, but if you take control of middle like that, you have to be very, very careful of the push on tracks. It does look like they're going to stick to very, very standard gameplay, kind of a 2-2 with one person rotating late towards up top. Monkyz versus, I do believe that is Fearzly. So great opposition going down up top, but Dezonide gets that middle cover like I spoke about. Dyslexic has to be careful here not to take too much damage, because SuMuNs with that bolt talk can easily land a couple good shots and start to get him a little antsy, but he's actually going to be the one pushing up, trying to force SuMuNs back. Great bolt talk shot. That's going to be two huge bolt talk shots, almost going for the third, bouncing around. SuMuNs trying to gain his health back, but nice shots being landed. The final blow from Dyslexic. Eliminations going off left and right, but F&I is going to have the man advantage for just a short time. But as I say that, Raver gets eliminated as well. They're going to wait for him to stagger that death. Dyslexic gets another one. They're going to stagger that death as well. So great plays by F&I, and that's 2 in a row. But I said that they're going to actually back off. I love the smart play coming out from F&I. Not biting off more than you can chew. They're letting their gameplay do the talking.
That's the second time Dyslexic has 1v2'd PK on tracks. He continues to play so well. That Boltok shots beforehand was so important. And of course, to just go in and finish off the second one right after the first was just wonderful. PK, where's that slaying power? We need to see it. And I'm not even gonna say something's off, because F&I is playing so well. But here we go. Train is coming through. Does this mean PK pushes up? Yes, Dezo's gonna be legit.
Oh, big Lancer shot being fired. I wish he focused Dyslexic there, because that was the target that was going to take that anchor positioning. Now he's the target that's pushing up. Raver does go down. Big kill coming through, but a nice trade from Dezonide. Going to keep that over in their control, and they desperately need this control because they have a score to come back from towards the top side of the map. Knights are dominating that as well. 2v1 towards the top, 1v1 in the middle. Toti absolutely needs this 1v1 for his squad, but he's actually going to lose it as well. PK winning fights all over the map, and the numbers are definitely in their control. Looking to go ahead and continue pushing forward, solidify this round. Nobody's going to get a touch. It's all going to be all up to Fearzly, and he needs not only a touch, but a miracle as well, and he's not going to be granted that miracle. Xploidz gets taken out, and it's going to be up to Toti. In a few seconds here, he's going to get chunked out here. It doesn't matter what he does. PK is ready to tie this one up.
Great retake, and it just comes to show how important it was to win that the Trax fight. They win the Trax fight, and then of course the Streets fight is won, and then are able to collapse down Pincerin. And then of course at that point in time, what does F&I do? Right, Toti was the last stand, if you will, on Trax, and he ended up falling down. So good on PK to retake control of that. It got a little scary, but in the end they were able to retake it. Talons are going to be locked in now. Talons are going to be very, very powerful on this map, especially on second half. If Talons do decide to stay, or even on Trax, of course, Retros eventually are going to be upgraded. But regardless, though, it comes to show you F&I has so many great initials, man. But PK, if they are, it all comes down to Trax, Jacob. If they win Trax, they win the fight.
With the audible coming through. Repop, for a second there, it looked like an audible was coming through. Toti changed his mind at the last second. Dyslexic needs to be careful. He's taking a ton of damage there for a moment, or at least it looked like it. Push coming through for F&I. And push back. Smoke's in play as well. I love this clouding of the smoke, but that's not going to stop Dezonide from pushing up. It's not going to stop Dezonide from getting a down as well. Teamfire coming through. SuMuNs with the bold talk. He had to back up, and that's what I'm talking about. That, oh my God, I was going to say that revive potential, but he's as accurate as ever. He's been one of the best bold talks since Gears of War 4, and he's showing exactly why. Headshot after headshot, shot after shot. SuMuNs even going wide with a little bit of help, taking out Xploidz. With that train coming through, that's going to be a free capture going over to the Knights. So now F&I is going to use this moment. They need to get all their players back up and figure out where their push is going to be. If you look at the defense from the Knights, they're kind of spread out, even like a first initial just happened. So this can be a moment for Fire and Ice. It's going to slow down, I think, for just a few moments, unless they catch somebody off guard here on the initial. But they need to figure out what exactly they want to do. They want to play a little bit of push and pull to get the PK members to move, rotate a little bit. That way they can catch somebody out of position.
I for sure thought F&I was going to pull the trigger and go for the OE over towards A, but they wisely set up. They know how important this neutral is. That back train's moving in. It's going to force SuMuNs out. Better get across the tracks, and Dyslexic does. And actually, there's going to be a drop. SuMuNs will get picked back up, but still, though, now there's presence. Dezo's going in. Xploidz as well. Dezo needs to pick Xploidz up. He will do so. And now Dyslexic is just up ahead. He's going to get this full cap. Dezo, though, is going to go for the challenge. And actually, he doesn't get the full cap. It's going to be neutralized. And now Dezo gets the pickup, and he gets out with his life.
Wow, I'm hopping over to that cover. Almost got him killed, but the Knights full control of this round. Up by 50, about to get another hill under the control to keep the lead going. Fearzly, though, on the other side, overextending, trying to get this victory. He gets the elimination, hiding behind the cover. Smart plays, not rushing back in to get the break. He's allowing, he knows he needs these eliminations, but somebody has to get this break. Nobody's backtracking to make it come through. Somebody's going to be off of respawn, and it's just going to be even harder. Monkyz spawns up. Now there's two players fighting around in spawn, so what should have been an easy break is now going to be fought for by both of these teams.
Fire and Ice trying to go for that domination. It's going to be so hard, though, for Toti. Toti will get dropped. You also have Dyslexic, too. He's now to one. Oh, what just happened there, Des? The most awkward fight ever. And it's going to be Raver still standing up. Knights so close to victory. And in fact, it's so far away from F&I. Knights will take this. No, 2-1.
This is the exact Knights that you wanted to see if you guys made that vote early on, which one of these two teams are going to win. 2 minutes and 49 seconds. The Knights beginning to pull the momentum on over to their side. And I kept talking about the slaying power of Dyslexic and Toti. Toti right now is turning into that support player, allowing Fearzly to go ahead and pick it up. But you could be the support player you want. When it comes down to 4v4, you're going to end up in those battles, those 1v1s, where you need to start picking up those eliminations. I don't think the time has come just yet for Toti, but that time will come. And is he going to be ready? That's going to be the question.
That is the big question. Trax, Dyslexic hovering over it. M-Bar goes down. They feel confident in that fight. Despite them losing a couple of times now, they think they can lock that in. That's going to be a great, great weapon to have for those long-range sights. It's all about winning it. You don't want to give that M-Bar to Monkyz. We know what Monkyz can do with it, right? So Fire and Ice better win this fight. Both teams are going to commit 3 and go down low. And this is going to be a very critical engagement. Whoever wins this is going to have massive map advantage.
Going to be huge here. Xploidz gets down once. Nice plays from Dyslexic, but he takes a monster of a shot. I don't even know how he survived that to take out Raver. Dezo's doing what he can to keep the shots going, but Dyslexic is moving and grooving. Finally gets shut down by Dezonide there, but he takes a ton of damage making that one happen. So even though Raver does spawn up, that's going to be 3 members dead off the side of PK right off of that initial. That forces SuMuNs, that forces Raver to try to get back to the map as soon as possible. But now they're going to have to figure out where the players of the Knights are at, or Fire Knights are at. So that way they can make those offensive plays. In the hands, though, of Xploidz is a nice little M-bar, man. I haven't seen it too much on this map, but man, does he have an opportunity to take over.
And I knew PK was going to try and go for that streets push, but they get thwarted, taken down. Now Dezo is going to be on the opposite side, though, and he's going to challenge onto Dyslexic. Dyslexic wins that. The overextension is in play, and that hill is being captured. Now you got Xploidz, who's also taking down SuMuNs. Monkyz is going to be the front leading charger along with Raver. They're going to break off the C, but this is the thing. They're going to back off. No reason to overcommit in that situation because Xploidz falls. Toti now has that M-bar. Which, by the way, good on them to pass that over to him to allow Xploidz to push up. When Xploidz dropped, I thought the M-bar was out of play, but now it is. Toti does get finished up. Regardless, though, Arnis has a decent-sized lead here, and PK still has a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah, we're having fun.
Oh, that's the way to start it off. Taking out a big player like Dyslexic. And funneled back. B hasn't been broken just yet, so Raver and, Dezonide's going to have to backtrack to make that one happen, but at the right time to make it happen as these eliminations are coming through. They have the man advantage on the hill. Toti needs to make a miracle happen. He's able to get one. Dyslexic gets a team kill. Can he make it happen? Dyslexic gets the down. Dyslexic is saving the round for Fire and Ice. Miracles do come true, and the name is Dyslexic.
Dyslexic doesn't even care about miracles, man. He makes every moment his. He is just a monster, Jacob. Well called, as Dezo now is just angry. He's pushing in, and Fearzly, no worries, cleans up Dezo. And if this doesn't put PK on tilt, I don't know what will. At this point in time, FNI is leading the charge. They're getting B for good measure, but the streets pushes in, and Knights are going hard. What? Look who's already there. It's going to be Dyslexic, of course, and Dyslexic is cleaning them up. He takes down one, and now he's going for the second onto Monkyz, who gets M-barred in the back from Toti, and that's going to be an FNI round.
That is highway robbery. I've seen some robberies in my life, and that one, this one right before our eyes, first he takes Monkyz money, and then he takes his teammates' money, and then actually he saved Monkyz money for last. He is eating good tonight. What do you think he ordered? 2-piece, a 3-piece, and a biscuit?
Man, well, Chick-fil-A, brother. I'm telling you that. I'd order some Chick-fil-A right now if I could. That's what he got.
What's your order? 2 sandwiches or 1?
No, I always get 1, bro. I need to get some weight off this stomach, bro.
I usually feel like I could eat 2, but when that second one comes around, I'm full.
After the fries, too? Come on. Or the mac? Hey.
No, Ribs used to make fun of me because I used to eat the fries first, but I have very sane logic. You eat the fries first because the fries degrade the colder they get.
Oh, 100%. The cold fries are just no good, man.
Can't reheat them either.
What else is no good? Hey, sending 2 players to fight for an M-bar. Meanwhile, FNI is going to send 3. Granted, player 3 is going to go into pavilion, so maybe this is a smart play. So, and then now Fierce is going to be, this is like some multi-level 5-dimensional chess at this point in time. You had player 3, Raver, who ended up going into pavilion. Meanwhile, Fearzly went on the flank to try and take him down. Dyslexic goes for the challenge. Raver goes down. Dezo is now going to be their challenge for the 1v2. Oh my lord, look at the kill feed. All blue as PK is really starting to heat up here, and FNI is starting to fall apart.
This right here, Fearzly versus Monkyz, is kind of confusing to me. I see what Fearzly was trying to do, but nobody on Fire and Ice committed, which makes that positioning and that strategy useless. Now they're forced with their backs up against the wall to try to make it happen here on their home hill. They need to start chaining together these eliminations, but 2 quick members just as fast as they spawn get taken out. Dyslexic somehow snuck by, but is he going to be able to get the decap just enough time to bounce right back in? The decap is going to come through, so he bought himself some time. If you're a PK, you cannot start dying here. You cannot start getting eliminated. You cannot let Dyslexic do it again. There goes 2. A third one is down. Dyslexic somehow buys his team some time. Another hill being decapped. So even though the Knights will get this neutral into their control and continue their 100+ point lead, you gave Fire and Ice an opening, and an opening they will take.
My goodness, this is just insanity at this point in time. Now, granted, PK is still very comfortable. Their lead is there, but FNI is very aggressively pushing up. We also have the Talon coming into play, but what a nice poke from Raver, picking up 1, eventually drops SuMuNs as well. That's 3 down on both ends, but the winning end of the stick is going to be FNI, who is going to get that capture, but from the flank is going to be Monkyz. It's going to be a very, very bad 1v1 as Dyslexic will fall, and he's now going to, or Monkyz is going to get the break now onto to E. Dyslexic needed that win, and now Fire and Ice are in desperation mode. They've got to get on all three of those.
I don't know what needs to come of this right now, but big eliminations coming through. Monkyz going to go down. The Lancer Fire from PK holding strong. They're going to trade this one away. 2 quick eliminations to trade off. Fearzly needs those big kills that he got in map number 1, and he's going to be denied those kills. And with that final battle, the dust will settle. The Knights will come out on top, and they will go up 3-2 over Fire and Ice, and they need these rounds. They need to force a map number 3 to show that this roster change that they made over the offseason, shocking the world, releasing Danny, was well worth it.
All right, well, here we are going into the 6th round, all up 3-2. PK leading the charge. Dyslexic, though, 21-5, by the way, almost a 2-0 KD. He's just playing so well, clutching up. Now, the rest of his team, though, if they could just back him up, they'd be okay. Such a close map. And you can really see how this has developed, I think, from round 1 to now going into round 6. So just how the intensity is kind of, elevated, if you will, Jacob. Both teams are playing so hard to take this map. I think it has become very personal at this point.
It definitely is. Obviously, everybody wants to win, but when you have 2 of the best teams in the region going at it, and it's as close as it is, this is personal. You don't want to lose. Obviously, you want to win. You want to be the best team. You want that money. But more importantly, you don't want to lose. You don't want the only other good team in the region at the moment. I think Rebel has some climb to do to say that they are better than you. So this is a battle to see who the top dog is during preseason for the Latin American region.
And Identa's always said it in the post interviews. Hey, the team that we wanted to beat was Fire and Ice, right? And he says that during the majors. He says that during the Pro League. It's always personal between PK and FNI, and both teams are always at each other's necks wanting to get the victory. Now, granted, PK usually gets that win more often than not, but for Fire and Ice, it's a very real chance for them to take it. But Track's fight well underway. Both teams still neck and neck at 48 points, counting, but FNI goes in onto Tracks to really try to push for this overextension, man. No one cares about E. Everybody wants that M-bar, and the M-bar is finally going to get taken by Xploidz.
We gotta be careful, though. Xploidz can immediately take you out, but I didn't see that he got down by Monkyz. PK working together in a blink of an eye to get that M-bar out of play, and that's gonna be big because we've seen Xploidz go off with it. A couple of these rounds ended with some M-bar kills, but now with PK in full control of both of these hills, no M-bar in play, it's gonna be a cat and mouse, a little tug and pull between Fire and Ice and PK in order to get this hill back. As you see, FNI and Dyslexic slowly but surely, inch by inch, trying to climb towards the top. Dyslexic playing with his food just a little bit. Nice, well-placed flash. This is what they're going to use to try to get in towards the side, but Dyslexic goes down. Big elimination cleaned up by Dezonide. Another elimination coming through. There goes Toti doing all he can. He's able to get one. We've seen Dyslexic do this before, but PK learning their lessons, not getting within chunk range to let that one go through. SuMuNs just wasting time right now. Fearzly. It's going to be crucial, and he gets taken out.
And I like that push on streets from PK. As soon as they drop Dyslexic, they know the numbers are in their favor, and they don't waste any time. They start pushing forward, but they don't do it aggressively or recklessly, right? They do it in a very controlled manner to where Fire and Ice, kind of give them enough rope where they feel like, okay, maybe I can make this push. Maybe I can make this engagement and take out one of the members, much like Toti did, right? But in the end, PK had enough spacing to where it just wasn't possible. So they read that very, very well, and they played that well. But here's the final push, though. Fire and Ice is going to give it a good go. Unfortunately, the shock is there. They will get picked back up. E should be captured, and F is actually being decapped. Fire and Ice really giving this a go, but Monkyz has slipped through the cracks.
That's going to be crucial here. Not enough time to win off of 2, so need to backtrack. Players of PK have a lot of time, actually. As that does get capped, it's not as much time as it should be. Players slipping by. SuMuNs should surely go down. Dezonide doing what he can to keep this one going, but I don't think he's having enough time to cap. 1v1 over towards the home hill. I do believe they lose as well. FNI slowly but surely climbing back into this one. As long as they capture 2 hills, they will stay in the lead. 2 hills is going to be there. Win condition towards the top half of the map. Less than 20 seconds left. Big kills coming through from Dyslexic. And it looks like once again, robbery will happen right before our very eyes. As Fire and Ice tie this one up. 3 rounds apiece and no respect. 27, 6, and 14 on this man, Dyslexic. Talk about who's going to get the most kills. He took that as disrespect because it's a no-brainer at this point.
My goodness, the battle we have before us. I'm loving every minute of it. 28-6 with 15 deaths. He's well on his way to getting that 2-0 KD, just 2 away. Insanity. Dyslexic can literally do no, nor can he be stopped. Now, granted, though, he doesn't want that performance to go to the wayside. Still, it is tied up 3-3, and PK is breathing down their necks, and they have shown that they have the intestinal fortitude to be able to take the lead, to be able to win these rounds. But so well played by F&I to tie it up 3-3. That last round was absolutely all PK, and F&I had to play it perfectly, which they did to take over the victory. But what will PK do to answer back? Who will be the team to be the first one to reach 4 rounds?
It's going to be a huge round for this matchup. F&I wins this. Pressure is surely on. Nice well-placed shot by Monkyz, but it wasn't deep enough. They're going to get the cap anyway. Early score lead going over to F&I. They catch Raver on the flank as well. Toti keeping his head on a swivel. He may not be the slaying powerhouse this map, but he's doing everything and anything necessary in order to keep his team in this game. Right there, like I said, spotting players out with the flank. Fearzly trying to get his own flank. Nice spot by Toti yet again. The information is endless coming out of this man.
Absolutely, man. This is just F&I is firing on all cylinders, and you can really see the way that they react and the way that they adapt to what PK's throwing at them. Like, they're communicating so well, and that's going to lead them and carry them so far. But letting Dezo get that in bar could be devastating. And oh no, they've already dropped them, but they can't get the finish as of yet. But this might lead Fearzly to push up. SuMuNs, though, will pick up Xploidz. Fearzly now in a very bad situation. Raver knows he can push this, but he's going to go ahead and back off. He needs to get Dezo back on his feet. Meanwhile, though, Fearzly continues to pressure up. While all this is taking place, Jacob, Fire and Ice continues to rack up a lead.
I was about to say, me and Dezo were almost thinking the same thing right there, bro. Put that away. You don't need to risk it. Put some damage out. Make him regret every little move he makes. Monkyz scares Toti off for a moment. You see the massive amount of points right now in favor of Fire and Ice. Mbar needs to connect with some of these shots. It's your chance to step up to the plate, and there you go. There goes the first one. Skinning the neck off of Toti. And there goes the win condition towards the top side as well. 60 seconds of uncontested time. The Knights will find themselves stealing this round back because last round, Fire and Ice stole one. So this is back and forth between these two teams, and neither team can give up until the last very ending second, or else it'll be over right before their eyes.
PK, Dezo is going to be so monumental in stopping that push. He's going to go ahead and back off a little bit, create some distance. He's really going way back.
Oh, that's crucial.
Gonna get some. Yeah, that's
shock
gonna be
at this
big.
stage of the
Now
game.
he's got, and he's already going to be staying back with the inbar, right? He's not going to be pushing up. That shock is going to now stop F&I. He goes in for the blind fire. I don't know if he connected on the body for Toti, but I don't think he did. Either way, the break is there. The shock is just a little bit short.
Eyes on target.
And F&I still has that win condition.
Get back in there.
Yeah, right now, what's going on right now is fine. You can't die here. They're putting their eggs in a basket of a hill they don't need. F&I gets some eliminations. PK gets even more towards the back end. A huge 1v1's going down.
Oh,
Dyslexic loses the 1v1, and it happens. Is anybody going to be able to break it? If Toti needs to get this chunk, he cannot let Monkyz get into this hill. He needs it now. Monkyz going in. Raver from downtown connects with the instant, and another round stolen away from their opposition. And this is just back and forth like we haven't seen in a very long time. Gears Esports is back, and it's better than ever.
100%, man. I'm having a blast watching this, and I hope you guys are as well. Fire and Ice spread themselves way too thin. They didn't need to fight the fights they were fighting. They went and tried to go for the OE, then they were also trying to fight for E, and then they were also trying to fight for their home hill when they should have just consolidated the work on the one hill that they needed, which would have been their home hill. They defend that. Go, but because they spread themselves too thin, PK was able to isolate them in 1v2s, play their numbers correctly, and then, of course, take the objective in their hands. PK 1 round away from sending us to a map number 3, which would be played on Vasgar. But at least for this round, round number 8, the Ensigns are no more.
You see Fire and Ice going back to sending 3 players down low, but they're basically giving up that opportunity for middle to be taken. No one taking it just yet. They're going for early capture. The Knights are going for early point lead while still taking the middle. They're going for everything at once. They need to be careful, though, because Fearzly trying to flank around. He's trying to catch somebody off guard. This battle towards the track, it's so important for both these teams. 2 players go down. Make that 3 players fall. Fearzly's all by his lonesome. What is he going to do? The map is on the line. Knights are pressing forward, trying to put an end to this.
you can even see him taking a pause, like, where do I even look? Where do I go? Well, Street seems to be the push. He gets the touch. Monkyz gets the finish. But FNI can't even get a touch despite being off the recess. 5-3, and it seems like it comes through on the other end looking just as good as they started. 5-3, they get the victory, and now they're sending it to a game number 3. Now does PK have that momentum? Well, we'll find out. I'm going to ask you that when we come back from the break, but no one can dispute. Dyslexic played out of his mind, 30-6, 18 deaths. Not a bad performance. We'll be right back for game 3 after this. Welcome back, everybody, to Emergence Days, Season 3, Week 12. We're deep into Grand Finals, about to head into map number 3, which is going to be played on Vaskar between Pittsburgh Knights and Fire and Ice. But what a series we have had here. It truly is a nail-biter, and I don't know, PK might have just gained some great momentum. Those last 2 rounds they played, Jacob, were pretty flawless.
It definitely was, and yeah, it shows that you can't count a team like the Knights out at any portion of the game. It doesn't matter how map number 1 goes. It doesn't matter how map number 2 starts. They are in it to win it, and they showed exactly why. So if you're one of those teams betting against them like myself, you might have something coming at you at the end of this one. But I'm going to go ahead and stay a believer in FNI right now. The way they've been playing to start the season, to start this series, has been phenomenal. And like I said, Murray.
Yeah, dude, yeah, you've been saying it all day. I'm going to say this, man. This is just such a good series. Like, it really is. For the first E-Days to be back, right? Because we just started Split 2 up with the Pro League qualifiers being on Monday. This is just is already great. And the competition is good week 1. I cannot imagine how it's going to unfold as we get closer and closer to the next major, or even just Pro League in general. But I truly am loving what I am seeing, and we are going to continue moving forward. Who do you think has the momentum, FNI or PK at this point?
I think at this point, PK has shifted a little bit of the momentum over to their side. But with the way this map is going, with both teams robbing each other at the ending portion of each round, I don't think that momentum is through the roof like I initially thought FNI going into map number 2. But like I said, this is going to be a 2-1 scoreline. I know I slipped up and thought FNI was going to close it out 2-0, but Vaskar is going to be a very intense map. I do think it's going to continue the trend of being close. No matter the scoreline, each round I do think is going to be close between these 2 teams. But FNI has my vote. I'm not going to switch it up just yet. No matter how many times I threw PK out there last season, I'm going to go ahead and stick to my guns this season.
I mean, I think that's fair. Look, at this point in time, I think FNI still might have the leg up. We're heading into Vaskar, map that they have done, played quite a few times. Now, granted, PK, of course, has played many times against the best in some of the most critical situations. But at least right now in the 4v4 format, as of recently, firing is firing on all cylinders, right? To beat VQ, how they did was impressive. And I think that's going to speak volumes as they do go into this matchup versus Pittsburgh Knights. But without question, I think both teams are hot-blooded at this point, right? Both teams really want it. Let's not discredit. Dyslexic dropped the 30 bomb for the L, 5-3. Imagine if it goes yet another round. How many more eliminations does he get? And how angry is he going to be now heading into this next map, which, by the way, is a Slay-heavy map as well, where he has the potential to drop even bigger numbers. So things are just getting crazy for the young gun of Dyslexic, and it makes me excited about the future.
And on the other side of things, you got PK coming back, taking that map. And even though we're hyping on Dyslexic 30 bomb, PK did it as a cohesive unit. I don't think there was really one person that really took over the game by themselves to where they can go after the match and say, yeah, I carried my team to that victory. They did it as a unit, and they did it as a wolf pack. That's what I've been seeing all day long. I said that would be their key to victory over a lot of these other teams. So if they're able to stay true, I could certainly be upset along with the rest of FNI, but it's going to be up to Dyslexic to have another monster game like that. But I want to see a little bit more slaying coming out of Toti. He's a phenomenal support player, but he's an even better slayer when he gets heated up.
There was a couple of moments, right, where he could have popped off and didn't. And, I don't blame him for it. I really don't. And 1v2s against PK, like, anything can go. If you get the 1v2 and you successfully, take them out, good on you. But if you don't, it is what it is. It's okay. But for the most part, though, I'm very impressed with PK to be able to come through as well as they did. They were struggling in the beginning, even though it was neck and neck. Pittsburgh Knights, I don't know, something seemed a little bit off, but those last couple of rounds, they really came through. I strongly feel the win kind of left the cells of FNI on that last second to last round where PK ended up taking over the victory in much the same way F and I had done earlier. But hey, here we go. Vascar, it is final map. Whoever wins this, ladies and gentlemen, will in fact be the victor here tonight.
And time will tell. Time will tell. But opening strategies, you already got a decap coming through and a capture on the other side of things. So both teams have different plays in mind, but it's going to be Nides trying to continue that aggression. But because I do believe Monkyz got eliminated, that's going to put a halt for just a short moment. But they have to be careful here because this is Fire and Ice's side of the map to go ahead and spawn on. If they take too much time pushing through, SuMuNs will have the potential to get flanked. And oh, Fearzly, no, you gotta stop up aim. What is wrong with F&I and these up aids? First Xploidz, then Fearzly, and then Toti. Like, come on, guys, get it together.
Hey, they're just scrappy young guns, man. They want to come through and just up-A everything. I get it. I mean, it's muscle memory at this point in time. It's going to take some time for them to just settle down, you know, and just overall use that Lancer Fire to the fullest of their abilities. After all, though, they do recover. They've got Charlie, they've got B. Of course, we will Dezo taking over B down low. Of course, she getting the decap, but either way, still a scrappy battle. Only 20 points separate them.
Take down on Toti there, gets caught out of position, caught off guard. Trade coming through. And this is the spawn of Fire and Ice, so they're going to be able to take back this home hill. But luckily for the Knights, that's going to be Monkyz on the other side of things, getting their home hill back. Excuse me there. So when this fight is all said and done, if PK finds themselves victorious, they can easily rotate over or try and hold it. Their choice. They get themselves another elimination. 3 players holding their ground. Lots of damage being dished out. Players forced to retreat deep back into their spawn. So this is looking good if you're a fan of the Pittsburgh Knights, because you know when these players from Fire and Ice spawn back up, they have to go for their home hill back. They don't really have a choice. Meanwhile, the Knights, they're beginning to rotate one after the next, trying to get this triple cap domination. So this fight on the home hill is so important for F9 to stay alive. But if you look how smart PK is playing, they're not even staying to get Lancer shots off. They're like, hey, we got the other side of the map. Let's back out.
And Dyslexic is about to 1v2 this, by the way. He does it. My goodness, Dyslexic 1v2s Dezo and I believe Raver as well. And that secures the victory for not only 2 hills, but almost, oh my goodness, 3 hills. If player 9 falls, and he does. And now you got Fire and Ice going for the domination themselves. Off the respawn, though, it's going to be PK. They should be able to get a touch here. Raver's going to be looking at a meat shield. He just has to get in, but C finally gets broken. Either way, though, F&I is there. Raver now facing Lancer Fire. Toti now goes in for the cleanup. C is being locked in, and Jacob, it looks as if they just did it in a dominating fashion.
I'm saying how smart of a play PK was backing off. And it's because they had a 2v1 on Dyslexic. But a 2v1, it means absolutely nothing at this stage in the game, especially when that one person is Dyslexic. That was a textbook play by PK that was just thwarted by the amount of individual skill by the Rookie of the Year, Dyslexic. And yeah, I'm calling him Rookie of the Year, Breakout Player of the Year. He gets a trophy. I don't know who on TC, here's Esports, needs to send that guy a ribbon, a trophy, a pin. I don't care. You send him something.
Send him the championship trophy, man. I think that's what he wants more than anything, right? More so than anything. Either way, heartbreaking defeat for PK. Fire and Ice played that so well. Dyslexic doesn't win that 1v2. PK, I don't know if they win the round necessarily, but they're at least in a much better position to take it. Fire and Ice continues to fight back, but still a lot of work to be done, right? We most likely are going to be going to round 9, and big standstill for B on tank is there. Both they don't want to push each other, but SuMuNs might be wanting to. And there's Dezo. He's going up. The utility's in. Xploidz gets tagged up a couple times. Dezo now still. Lancer's out. Xploidz falls. Toti goes for the pickup. And I believe it or not, they both get out. Still quick for this.
Wow. How? What? How did they not got down the second time? But Dezo's going to put him down nonetheless. 2 quick kills coming through and immediately starts that Lancer Fire on Fearzly. So this is where it's going to get interesting. Maybe you put up a little bit more on Dyslexic. They wouldn't come out with that elimination. And you might have gotten me in a 2v1, but Monkyz, one of the MVP caliber players from last season, looking to put a stop there. He's now 2-4 to start off this tiebreaker map, but he has plenty of time left. Oh my God, Sneaky Play's coming out again. There goes one. Nice opportunity at a second one. Raver put full red. Great opportunity for the turn and burn to put a stop to that one, but Raver and the rest of PK are going to continue pushing forward. They want to get this neutralization. They have the lead, so hopefully they don't bite off more than they could chew, especially with these players respawning right behind them.
Toti wins the fight on B versus one of the players of PK. On the opposite Monkyz pops off, takes down Dyslexic and X to secure now the hill of Charlie, and that's going to put PK now in charge of A and C, start gaining those points back. Meanwhile, though, F&I is going to be off the respawn to try and push Monkyz, Raver, and I believe one other over there, and that should be SuMuNs. Try and push them back so they will recover C. That's going to force Dezo now to maybe challenge in onto Toti, and it looks as if that is going to be the case. Regardless, so Fire and Ice is in a big battle here. PK needs to pick up some critical kills, but that Wolfpack is so strong. But it's still not finished yet. Fearzly full red backs off, and that's going to be 2 down for PK. Dezo, though, picks up Toti, and he'll successfully get the break. So many moving pieces, Jacob.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. I want to see how that plays out, but I would like to see him kind of stagger Toti's death just a little bit more. But I understand why he did not. But 2 hills going in favor of the Knights, but only for a short time. Fire and Ice not giving up this one easy, forcing PK back deep into their spawn, forcing this rotation. They have no choice but to go for the Fire and Ice home hill because 2 hills are back in favor of F9. In just a few seconds here, uncontested, they will start to regain this lead and put the pressure on the Knights. So they have to go forward. They have to go now. At least get the decap and put a stop to the bleeding.
Good lantern on the Toti. Dyslexic, though, will go ahead and answer back and drop SuMuNs down. Raver's going in for the pickups, as I think Dyslexic wanted to go pick up his own teammate himself, but either way, he's backing up. Dyslexic's still there to challenge. I mean, does it surprise you at this point?
Nope.
Scoreline's so close. B's being broken. C is locked in, and it looks like Fire and Ice is about to lose this round. I think they'll get a couple of touches, but it's not going to matter in the end. Player 5 is going to challenge Player 8. He wins it. That's 3 down for Pittsburgh Knights. Make that 4 down for Pittsburgh Knights. Fire and Ice, you've got to run. You've got to get on A. Player 2 is going to be over there. Is he going to get the break in time? I don't think he will. And PK will take it by the skin of their teeth.
3 seconds too late. I don't know how they could have made up that 3 seconds, but to know you were 3 seconds too late has got to be frustrating, especially towards the last portions of the game. But if you look at the score line, nobody really going off just yet. 1-1 score line, and his Boltok pistols around. So it's almost like looking into a mirror between these 2 teams. And this best weapon selection, you got to think it's going to be a Talon. It's almost going to be matched on the other side unless they want that retro. And I love that retro being placed down because it's much more powerful, in my opinion, overall on the map than both Boltok and the Talon. But it also depends on how you use it, especially knowing someone like SuMuNs is going to get that Boltok in his hands. Headshot potential is just through the roof the moment he picks it up.
That retro is going to be pretty awesome, despite Knights having a Talon and a Boltok. I much prefer the retro in general. Fire and Ice, though, is going to go ahead and lock in A and C for the time being. You notice, though, not a lot of players are playing around with the mid rotations, right? As before, I think they find more value in sticking together and wolfpacking more than anything. And we're about to have a 3v3 onto A. And, of course, there'll be a 1v1 on the opposite end between Raver and Dyslexic. That's going to be a tough one. There's that retro lancer, Jacob, going in full force, but around the corner, taken down. Dezo picks up not only Fearzly, but also comes in onto Xploidz. Toti falls. Dys, last alive.
Battle's going down. We've seen him take 1v2s, but unfortunately enough, 1v1 is going to be the hard one for him, as that domination looking like it's going to sound off for just a short moment. Fearzly's going to be the first one in. He's going to prolong it by just a little bit, getting these touches, but is he going to get the decap? Yes, he is. No one able to clean this one up yet. Trade's coming through, though. Xploidz doing everything he can, but he met his match in Monkyz. Players not going towards the hill, but that's going to be Dyslexic. Every time you need a clutch play, you can call on Dyslexic today.
Target my mark.
I like that. Put that on the business card. Hand him out. Still, though, a lot of bullets. He's still alive. It took so many Lancer bullets to put that man down. It's like he's playing on a different level. But, hey, Fire and Ice does live, as you said. Still a lot of work to be done here. It's not like they're thriving. They're surviving. But either way, though, them being canceled to come back. But it starts here onto Charlie. It's going to be a 3v3.
Forward. Fire and Ice need this one. PK knows it. I almost kind of let them funnel into some Lancer fire. Don't make it easy for him, knowing that not only have to get these eliminations, but get the kills as well, especially knowing that I have a Talon pistol in the hands of one of my best players, Monkyz. Not looking good for Fire and Ice's chances to push it through. They're, in fact, it's looking so bad, they're forced to retreat as Monkyz is looking like a shark hunting them down.
Dyslexic rotates through, takes down Raver. That allows him to lock in B. But Monkyz will finally drop. And actually, Xploidz goes back for the pickup. Meanwhile, though, up ahead, PK takes the opportunity as they know F&I was kind of backing up to go ahead and pick up a lot of eliminations. As Dezo now will drop. Raver will drop to all fours as well. Dyslexic goes in for the cleanup. C is now being broken. The domination is into effect. You have Monkyz who's running full speed over to B. Will he get there in time? Will he be able to get the touch? He will not. And they will lose the round, much like they did in just the last one, just a hair away from getting a touch. That is a round, PK. I did not expect them to lose.
I wish I seen the exchange between Monkyz and Dyslexic there towards the end, because they, in one way or another, ran past each other. I don't know the exact routes that they took, but Monkyz spawned up, tried to go to the neutral hill. Dyslexic went through the spawn to flank. So I don't know if Monkyz saw Dyslexic flanking, didn't call it out. Maybe he did and the team didn't listen. I don't know, but I would love to see Monkyz try to defend his teammates back. They're fighting back tooth and nail over there. They're going with every inch of their fiber, their being, but just to get flanked by Dyslexic and put flatline is just not the way you want to end, especially against a team that can catch fire at any moment.
Absolutely. Again, I gotta point him out. The linchpin in that entire operation was Dyslexic, taking down Raver, allowing himself to get on B so his rest of his teammates can solely focus on getting on that final here for the domination. And all the difference in the world. Bit of a mismatch here, but already player 9, SuMuNs, is going to drop. That's going to even out the odds here in a 2v2. Fearzly looks to push up again. He's been playing so very well, but the Lancer Fire is going to be a bit too much. And Dezo from the corner is going to get taken down from Dyslexic. So again, now it's going to be a 1v1. The odds are evened up. But more importantly, PK really, Raver, he can make this push, but he really can't get the decap, nor can he get the full cap, especially with Fire Nice coming off the respawn. So it's kind of a moot point. He's just got to wait for reinforcements.
I don't understand the time that's being taken right now from PK. These players spawned up. You saw them spawn up. You have the numbers. Try and push through and get the break. You're allowing them so much time for these rotations to come through, for people to flank. They probably have 4 players fighting this fight because Xploidz is across the map, railing them with Lancer Fire. I don't know who's going to come out on top, but the eliminations going back and forth. Monkyz gets read down. Lancer Fire going to continue, and F and I, and oh my God, nice play coming through from Dezonide. He needs this exchange. There it goes, another battle won against Dyslexic. That's going to be a huge double kill. Fearzly spawning up. So once again, Dezonide has to go big, but I do believe he got flanked there for a short moment. So 2 hills going over and Fire and Ice again. It doesn't matter what the Knights seem to do. Fire and Ice seem to be 1 or 2 steps ahead.
Well, Dezo does stay alive long enough for players 7 and 0, Raver and Monkyz, to get over to getting that in. Meanwhile, though, now the numbers are against them. Player 8's off in a distance, and F&I should push this aggressively to take them down. Raver full red, he's gone. Fearzly from the flank, and it looks like PK going into the blender at this point in time. As player 7 also a little bit late to the party, Raver does get taken down, and now it's going to be F&I, as you said, 1 step ahead. They still have the objective. Now Xploidz challenging SuMuNs, and the rest of the cavalry is going to be there to push them back. It's going to be a mismatch. 3v2. Dyslexic will pick up Dezo. Another one just behind the cover. That's going to be SuMuNs. He's about to be angled out. Xploidz from the flank. Either way, this is going to get the down. He's not going to waste any time now. He's got to assist onto B, as PK is kind of everywhere. Despite F&I winning these big battles and these big fights, with respawn economy not making a difference at all, PK can continually be faster at getting to these hills. So F&I, even though they have the point lead, it's always, they're just constantly in recovery mode trying to retake these hills.
I'm not even watching the game. I'm watching number 4 on the kill feed almost every single time. I'm trying to figure out where Dyslexic is going, but Xploidz throwing all that commotion going down on the neutral hill. He fought 2 different 1v1s on the home hill of the Knights to solidify that win. I don't know what is going wrong with the Knights. I don't know if they just need some rear view mirrors to watch their back. I don't know if they need somebody to sit back almost the entirety of the time, but they are letting flank after a flank slip through, and they're getting caught by it. And they're not even pushing through in their advantages. So right now, the Pittsburgh Knights are looking flat.
All right. Well, is this the turn point? Well, obviously, we're going into a fresh half here. Bar is going to be placed. It's going to be a lot of fun to fight for onto tank. We got Hammer Bursts and Retros on opposite ends. Actually, we got 2 Retros and a Hammer Burst. So a little bit more firepower is going to be going to the boys of F&I. And player 4 is looking like he's going to go ahead and pick one up. Actually, is he going to go straight through mid? No, he's just going to go straight to E. Not a bad play. Player 5 might go through mid. Meanwhile, PK, they want this Bar.
PK have to go. They know they have a man advantage here. If they didn't see it, they got to see that hill being capped up. Xploidz going down as basically a 4v2 here. If PK finds a way to lose this, I have no faith anymore. But luckily, I got a little bit left in me for PK as Monkyz not only wins that exchange with his team, he gets gifted that end bar. Even though FNI and Dyslexic stretch all the way through, it's only for a short moment. And there's going to be hidden. It's Fearzly trying to make sure nobody gets through free. But I don't like where he's positioned in the middle. He's an easy target for the team of PK. And nice fire for both of these teams. Like I said, this is a bloodbath. Toti doing all he can. Talked about him being a great support player, and even better Slayer, and that shows the firepower that he has. And now he's going to get this decap coming through. Dyslexic dies, so this round won't be over just yet unless Xploidz wants to end it.
It looks like he definitely does. Take down Monkyz. PK now running. SuMuNs goes for the... He gets a touch? No way in that last second, and they take down Xploidz. I thought the round was over, but honestly, I'm not complaining. I like to see a little bit more.
He kissed the hill right there to get the break. Nice little hiding maneuver right there from Toti. Going for a double kill makes it happen, even if you go getting taken out. You did the damage. You have the win condition. It's a massive win condition as well. Almost a 200-point lead. Raver doing what he can. He gets one. That's going to be a second kill as Dyslexic goes down. He got Toti first, but Xploidz puts a stop to that bleeding and knows that Knights, they need perfection here to close out this one. They not only need one, but they need both kills neutralized, and they need to make sure that they capture it as well. Let's see, another elimination going on for Fearzly is going to make it that much harder as this one goes down to the wire.
Definitely going to go down the wire indeed. This is just getting crazy. PK, I mean, this is a must-win. They have to win this round without question, and they're winning some critical fights. So Raver will take down player number 5 of Fearzly. The hills are being broken, but it seems like player 3 is going for the full cap, inches away from taking this victory. Xploidz needs to take down Monkyz, and he doesn't. He gets chunked. Toti will also be finished off, but Dyslexic is up ahead, but already full red. I guess that's what it takes to take down PK and will win this round. I mean, I can't stress this enough. Every round has been exactly what we just witnessed. Like, it's just, this is just crazy at this point. I'm loving every bit of it.
It doesn't matter who you think is going to win. It doesn't even matter who looks like they're going to win, because until one team triple caps or hit 250, it's already been proven over the last couple of maps that it is anyone's ball game. And you look at the weapon selection on screen, so far it does look like PK is going to upgrade to Ensigns. On the other side of things, you almost think that that has to be matched. It has to be Ensign's return fire, especially since you know that is the favorite of this Latin American region.
Okay. I think it has to be Ensigns. I mean, what else do you do? Oh, Shock. Interesting. Ensigns versus Shock. Shock isn't terrible on this map. We talk about it all the time. Of course, the instant kill potential whenever it comes to the instant is awesome.
I'm not scared.
I just hope they use that Shock to lock in that in bar. That's going to be hugely important. Player 3 is also should be able to pick up the retro. I guess I'll leave it up to player 2. Should be Xploidz. No one picks it. Okay, so it's going to be Toti picks it up. Let's see how this worked out. You know, it's going to take the early lead, but here comes that push from PK going for the in bar.
Oh my God. Now you help Xploidz. Oh, 2 quick kills. This could have been a series point for FNI if they were able to close out that last one. You see the triple cap domination sounding off. Everybody from the Pittsburgh Knights dead. It is now a series point for Fire and Ice. I was talking about it could have been over here, but in under 36 seconds, they are one step closer to ending this one for us all and becoming our Emergence Stage champions.
Whew, Jacob, this is getting wild at this point in time. Now all we need is PK to win 2 straight rounds and send it to a round 9 and see what FNI is really made of. But at this point, I guess it's really the question of what is PK made of? Can they even make the comeback possible? Well, we'll definitely find out. The Sables are out very early, a lot earlier than we normally see, right? They normally like to play 1 extra round and then go in with the Disables. But hey, get them out of the way. No worries at all. But again, I want to go back to what we kind of talked about before. That retro made a huge difference on the cross the tank.
I love the way they locked it down, because locking it down forces the enemy team to lock it down as well. And that means they're not going to be able to upgrade that retro. Even though, like you just said, it's a huge firepower. You saw it be put to use, basically win that round from Fire and Ice the round prior. But now things are going to slow down just a little bit. No kill potential on one side and no ability with the shock grenade to clear players out from that back tank. So it's going to be stalemated just a little bit. And look at this positioning right now. If Dyslexic is able to put Monkyz on the other side of that cover, I can see a world where Fearzly might be able to help. But until that happens, it's going to be a 3v3 and a 1v1. I got to wonder, who do you think is going to make it? Is it Dyslexic? Is it Monkyz?
Dyslexic. I mean, come on. I mean, he's just been unstoppable at this point in time.
That's going to force
Either way, they're still at that standstill, though. Xploidz, though, picks up Raver. Dezo also falls. Inbar is picked up by Xploidz. That standstill between Monkyz and Dyslexic is still... What are they even looking at? Can they even see each? Okay, so Dyslexic is there. Monkyz on the opposite corner. And I don't know. I really don't know. Oh, he's got Fearzly on the back. There's no way Dyslexic wins this or loses this at this point unless Monkyz just absolutely pops off.
Seen Monkyz pop off before. Potential's there. Great shots being put down on both Fearzly and Dyslexic. First player is going to go down. Cleanup coming through. Dyslexic holds the ground again. He did have some help from Xploidz, but there was no revive potential. So if he goes down, it was all over, and he rises to the occasion yet again. I don't even think we have to go to the poll. I don't even think we have to go to the stat sheet to know that between Raver and Dyslexic, in terms of that prediction just before the match started, who's going to get more kills, I got to think it's leaning heavily on the side of Dyslexic, and I don't think he's done just yet. He said, you put up a poll against me, I'm going to show you why you're going to regret that decision.
Xploidz wants to pop some heads. He's got plenty of options. Just has to find the right one. There's Raver. He's gone now. Goes in for the second. That was a big kill. Oh my lord! What pixel did he even hit? This is just crazy. Xploidz playing out of his mind, and F is going to be locked in. E as well being played around with, and you got Monkyz, who's about to be in a 1v2. Player 4 is going to go to back off. That is Dyslexic. A very rare time where he decides to back off of a 1v2. Typically, he's pushing that in, but I think they feel resources should be allocated more so towards E, and they do win that fight. Fire Nice is very close to victory.
Especially now they're going to get the second hill into the control. I think at this point in the game, if PK loses 2 members, it's over. If they lose 2 members, it's over. And that's exactly why you see F&I backtracking. He's going to come up.
Full talk again. Some Fearzly, well, that's 1 member at least. SuMuNs is gone. Raver is also down. So that's 2. And like you said, if they lose 2 members, it is over. Jacob, I'm going to let you do the honors. Fire and Ice just tore this up.
Yep, they tore it up indeed off the hands of Dyslexic. Xploidz showing absolutely no respect in here, and it shows that my predictions are going to start off hot as Fire and Ice take Emergence days 5-2 over PK.
I am just shocked. What a play from them. 5-2. It's all Dyslexic MVP.
When he shows him the finger, he say, hey, you guys might have been the top dogs last season, but new roster, new F&I, new champions as they start off hot. They still have to go through the qualifiers, but what a boost of confidence to go ahead and bring you into a next qualifier.
Look at Dyslexic over there on the right, man. Old baby face, but I'm telling you what, he's mature in the sense that he knows how to slay out his game sense. It's crazy. His movement is on point. And I can only hope that he continues to maintain that energy. Just a good guy in general, man, and I think this is going to be his season. What a night, though, for Fox. Are you kidding me? They beat BQ, they beat Hive, and now they beat Pittsburgh Knights in the end? I mean, they went through the gauntlet, and they ended up on the other end being victorious.
I just want to see them continue this momentum, because in the past with different rosters, they were kind of known as only good during Emergence days. And when it came to Pro League, when it came to Sundays, they kind of came out flat. They didn't win the matches that they should have won, that they on paper were better than their opposition. But I want to see, it was such a great start to the season. It was a great start in those qualifiers. I want to see them continue that momentum. Now is not the time to let off the gas. When you qualify for the Pro League, guess what? You put your foot all the way down, put that gas pedal to the floor, and you don't let up until you're champion.
Oh, man. Champions, it's a long way away. But again, this is how VQ started, did they not? VQ started off hot in the Pro League qualifiers, and they also did so in E-Days, and they finished at Champions. Throughout the entire way, though, everybody doubted VQ. Well, not everybody, I should say, but a lot of the pro teams, a lot of the pro players said, VQ, you're never going to amount to anything. You're still, whenever the major comes around, you're going to be at the bottom. Well, what did they do? They came through, proved all the doubters wrong, had a flawless performance, and took the championship. F&I, well, they've got a long way to go and a lot to still prove, but this is a great start nonetheless. But hey, the reality is this is only week 1. A lot of the teams are coming off of a hiatus for not playing, or maybe not playing as seriously or scrimming. not take it in strats. The game is going to mature and it's going to develop. And Fire and Ice needs to stay ahead of the game if they want to continue with this dominant form. But at least tonight they can rest easy because they got the victory, and that's a beautiful thing. The fact that he hit this one pixel, look at him.
Oh my god, that was like the
It's
elbow.
Like he hit the arm, and it was just
say
enough.
the upper elbow, bottom elbow, maybe just a hair on his skin there for a moment. But that's gonna be the scoreline for us. 5-2 Harbor, 5-3 tied back up for the Pittsburgh Knights on Asylum. But right before our very eyes, Fire and Ice close it out and become Emergence Day champions. 5-2, 2-1. The scoreline I predicted. I'm finally 100% in my predictions, but I don't think that'll last long.
We'll see. Hey, it's not the official predictions yet. That starts during the Pro League. Again, the bracket, man. You know, it was just crazy. First and foremost, AMC. That's XUYU. And then I'm playing against Carnage. That was a 10-0 victory. Carnage obviously needs to go back to the drawing board and figure it out. For PK and Rebel, though, bit of a bloodbath. Personal, right? Because Identiv's previous PK long-term member is now on Rebel. And of course, PK ended up coming through with the victory 2-0 as Rebel goes back to the drawing board to figure it out. But honestly, sort of as expected, as Rebel is still a new team. For Hive and Rise, though, that's, you know, come on, that's just crazy. The fact that Hive was able to beat them 2-1, and more importantly, 5-0 on the final map, which I do believe was on Exhibit. So Hive, as an Exhibit team, they're nothing to play around with. Good Fire and Ice matchup overall, and that was where Fire and Ice really showed that maybe, just maybe, they're not just a Pro League qualifier team. They can stand up against the best, including the champions. But overall, as the night did continue on, AMC versus Knights, Hive versus FNI, long drawn out series, but the end result put Knights and FNI in grand finals for FNI to take the entire thing. It was just seriously a wonderful night. Your favorite moment, man, what was it? I mean, you mentioned game